Carla, welcome back.
Oh, thanks. Long time no see. Welcome back. And today I'm just going to introduce you to our free motion fundamentals part 2. And I've already introduced you to some great ideas and thoughts of how you can learn to free motion quilt. Now I'm going to talk about accessories that kind of can help you on your little journey into free motion quilting, and maybe some of them will assist you. But there's so many items and things out there, and I wanted to set the stage for both the mid to long arm machines. So I'm working with our Unique 21 Pro here, and also the domestic machines. So, you know, these accessories will work with both. It's just there might be differences in your frames and how you shift and move. So I wanted to kind of go through those items. And I want to first talk about the differences in the frame. So we have our rolling frame, which I have our 12-foot continuum right here with our Unique 21 Pro on. And then we also have our hoop frame over here. If we want to scale over here to this side, right here. Thanks, Chris. With a domestic machine on. Because I wanted to give you a clear look of both of them. So I'm going to start here with the domestic machine. So when you're using, and you can use lasers, and lasers are a great item to follow pantographs if you want to use them. And it's a way for quilters to quilt with some direction and some help, some assistance by following the laser light across your pantograph. It sometimes makes it really easy for quilters to quilt because they have that pantograph and that line drawing. So that is a good way to quilt and to start out with pantographs and just do the same design. And a pantograph is a design that's the same design repeated across your quilt and down your quilt. And so most of the times you will quilt off the edges of your quilt. So as you're shifting your quilt along, you'll just do the same pantograph. What's great about our frames is that you can work using the pantograph from the front of the frame or the back of the frame. And if you have a hoop frame that doesn't have table inserts and you want to work from the back, you will need table inserts if you want to follow the pantograph from behind. Now, you don't need an extra, if you're using a domestic machine or your home sewing machine and it's sitting on this top plate, you don't need to purchase an extra set of handles to work from the rear. Notice how these handles are shaped. So they go. These are the front handles that you can adjust the way you want. But what's nice is that these handles work and they go down and you can work from the back. So it's bent and it has the nice little cushion shifts on them so that you can work from the front or the back. So that is really nice that you don't have to purchase an extra set of handles. These table inserts have some little slits in them, and you'll notice that on the rolling frames that they also have these little slits. These are for another accessory that I'm going to talk later on about, our Pattern Perfect, so that you can adjust the position of the Pattern Perfect. So today I'm just going to talk to you about the fundamentals of these accessories, but I have already done a couple of videos, one on the Pattern Perfect and one with the laser, okay? So if you want to see how to actually use those and some really good points and tips on jumping in and using the laser and the Pattern Perfect, go and watch those videos because I do it step by step. And I tell you a little bit more about the positioning and the placement of it. And I teach you more of the fundamentals of the placement because we don't have a lot of time today and there's so much for me to inform you about. I'm going to move over to the rolling frame and do the bulk of my fundamentals from the rolling frame. But I just wanted to teach you that you can do the same things. You don't have to have a large frame or a long arm machine to use a laser or to use the Pattern Perfect or to use all these. You can quilt like a long arm quilter using your little domestic machine on a hoop frame. So jump in and try it. And now I'm just going to move over here. All right. Okay, so now I'm back over here to my rolling frame and my 21 Pro. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about these accessories. Where did my laser go? Oh, well, I can't find it. So anyway, the lasers are different from the rolling frame, from the domestic machine to the Unique machines. The laser that you would purchase with your hoop frame, it's a laser that runs on batteries and it works really well, and you can mount it on the front or the back of your machine or frame. All right, this laser is the Laser Stylus Kit. So what comes with the kit? It's a bracket that you can mount your laser from the back or the front, and it plugs into the front of your machine right here, up underneath the port on this machine. And there's ports on the 19 or on the 15 that's usually on the front or the top. So if you're interested in finding where your ports are, read your instructions, it'll let you know. All right, so I'm going to use it from the front, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to move to the back as well. But what's nice about our frames, on all of our frames right now, this pole right here, this is the pole that holds your backing. It will extend out this direction, so it gives you a wider quilting area, which is great because that allows you to work from the front rather than the back, so you can see as you're quilting along. When you're working from the back, you will need what we call rear handles. So on the longer arm machines, you'd need a set of rear handles, and you'd have to purchase those, and they mount to the back, and you're working from the back. So you're really focused on what you're following on the back of the machine, and you're not really seeing how it's quilting on the front. So that's what's nice about quilting from the front and being allowed to quilt from the front. Those pantographs, you can actually see what's going on, see if your thread breaks. So you don't make it all the way to the end and recognize, oh, dang it, I have to start all over. So yeah, so it's really nice to be able to have the ability to work from the front or the back. And with the rear handles, some of them will come with a screen that mounts to the back, others don't. So you can actually purchase, if you have a set of rear handles and you want another screen, that there's an availability for you to purchase that extra screen so that you can see what's going on from the back. So, okay, I've talked about the laser and I've talked about the rear handles, which are really important, and the table inserts. Let me just show you really quickly what the Pattern Perfect looks like and how it works. So the Pattern Perfect, we have a few different styles of the Pattern Perfect. What's nice about the Pattern Perfect is, let me show you the back, okay, is it gives you what we call these little templates that have designs with little grooves. And you get a stylus that the stylus fits down into the grooves, and you just follow it along all the way across your quilt. If you are uncomfortable and not confident as a quilter and want to be able to quilt beautiful designs, this is a great way to start because it just gives you that ability and that confidence that you need to move across your quilt and create really pretty designs. In this basic set, you get 8 designs. You get it's reversible, so you get 4 designs on the front side and 4 designs on the back. And so you can make even more designs by using like the scallops, and then you could flip them and do the dovetails. So there's a lot of options for you to create beautiful designs just using this basic set. Now we have another set that's really kind of fun. All right, and this is our new set, and it's our flowers and our stars. And on this, I just want to show you really quick. The flowers and the stars, it's reversible as well, but it has 4 different designs. So you see the flowers right here, the stars, and then you get this nice little, I don't know, design that's really fun. And it's got that little spiral in it, and then you get a little spiral design down here, which is smaller, which would work really well on a border of your quilt. And then with the Pattern Perfect, I just want to talk about our additional sets. So if you're looking online, this is called the Popcorn and Swirl. It's really popular and very easy for you to get comfortable with this design. And then all of a sudden you're using these more and more. You get that muscle memory, then you don't need the Pattern Perfect. You have these designs down. So it's a great way to start and to learn how to quilt using the Pattern Perfect. Okay, so now let's talk about additional ways of quilting, and that is the free motion and using the laser. And how do you start? Because you're worried about the wobbles and the wiggles that you'll get, and you're not confident in moving across. So if you're concerned about how easily the carriage moves across your quilt as you're quilting, to get some resistance, I have found that if you take this take-up pole, doesn't matter what frame you have, you could even do this on your hoop frames to get a little bit more resistance. You put your take-up pole down so it's touching your arm, the arm of your machine, and that will give you that extra resistance that you need moving across your quilt as you're quilting and give you that stability. So try that. So with the dual wheels, it moves so freely and so smooth that sometimes if you are just starting out in your quilting journey, that free motion movement is so easy for you to make those little wobbles in your design. And if you don't like those little wobbles on your lines, try putting the pole down on the machine to get that extra resistance. So I have set up a little station here. Just want to talk to you about that. Can everybody see this area right here? All right, so I've got several different designs that I pulled off the internet. You don't need to purchase the designs, and you can pull them off the internet and tape them across, but you have to be very careful. I want to talk to you about designs and what on the rolling frames, you can choose a little bit more difficult designs. On the hoop frames, because you're shifting your fabric from one section to the other, to use a design that goes in a V shape, up, down, it's a little harder to make sure that you're nice and straight. So for the hoop, for the rolling frames, this is a great design to use. But for the hoop frames, I would stick to designs that go straight across. Just so it will make it easier for you as you're shifting your quilt back and forth, up and down, to make it so that you don't get a big gap or a big space in between. So just watch those designs. That's why I picked some of these, because I thought this little hearts going across were nice and straight, and they would help, you know, move across your quilt. And even if you were off just a little bit, it is so beautifully. Also, these little loops right here, really a fun, easy, cute design, but it gives you something to follow. Now, I set this up right here because we're going to work from the front of our frame, but I haven't threaded my machine because I just want to show you how important it is to trace. By tracing or drawing, and so I have my template plastic here, and I have it on the smooth side. You have a side that's kind of, it's a little rougher, and one side that's a little smoother. So you just want to put my template plastic on across the top and take my dry erase marker, and then I'm just going to try to get this muscle memory. And I'm going to start here where it starts, and I'm just going to move up, come to a point, down, come to a point, down, a point, and just move across. So I kind of get this in my head of the direction that this design is going to be quilted. Because as you're quilting, I don't care if you're a professional and you've been doing it for years and years and years. This is important to understand because you can be quilting along and lose your place as you're going across. So, you know, this is something that you could do over and over and over again to get the feel. And we're doing the little moon right here. And you know, it's very therapeutic. If you're frustrated or angry, do some doodling. It calms you down. And it's a lot of fun to see what you can do. Okay, so I've traced it, and I will probably go over that several times as I'm quilting. But now I have aligned one right here underneath that I pointed my laser to, the start point, and I positioned my needle on this upper one, and I pinned them into place so they're not going to go anywhere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to practice this design without my needle threaded. So I'm going to come up here, and I positioned my laser. So the reason I moved it from this arm to this arm is because as I was positioning it, you can hit the head of your machine and you won't see your laser. So you'll just see the head of the machine. So make sure that you position your laser, and these handles are really nice because they can extend out. But it's the same thing with working from the back to the front. Just make sure that you have a clearance of this little dot as you're quilting across. So bear with me as I turn on my machine and I start moving, okay? And I'm probably going to go a little slower because I don't know this design that much. And you can slow down your machine to as slow as you want it because we're just tracing. But you know what? Doing it this way, it also gives me the line. But you can also see, I'll take my hand away from here so that you can see how the laser is going around as well. And it's helping me get my muscle memory. And I'm going to come down here. I hope I didn't go the wrong direction. And you can see I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. I'm learning the design. I'm not actually quilting it right now. I'm just showing you a new way. And you can see I'm getting those little wobbles. So by putting my pole down on it, I won't get those little wobbles. I'll get that extra resistance that I want. It's kind of fun. You need to try this. This is a great method to learn your design. And before you know it, you'll be proficient at it. So I'm going to come up here, do my moon. I keep going. This would be a great design for a baby quilt. This moon and the stars. Oops. Oh, well. Just go with it. Don't try to correct it. Now, if you have it threaded, don't try to correct it. Just keep going with it. Because you'll see you're backtracking on it. All right. Turned out pretty good. That was a lot of fun too. So now I'm ready to thread it and move on. So let's give it a, do we have time to thread it, Nathan? Okay. All right, so, okay. And just thread it right here. Now, if you liked how you did your free motion design on that and you wanted to use a little bit of chalk pounce to pounce in the holes and to give you another little lines to use, or you can use some pins and chalks as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this paper out and I'm just going to pull my thread up. I'm going to bring this right back Okay, where are we? All right, right here. I'm going to slow my machine down just a little bit, okay? And some people like to use manual mode as well. Manual mode is a little smoother mode. It takes you out of stitch regulation. And so if you want to try manual mode, and just try it when you're tracing, see the differences. So you could trace over this again, try it in regulated precise, try it in cruise, because in cruise you get the needle going up and down and get some extra stitches around your little loops, and it might make it a little smoother than regulated precise, but try all these different modes. You know, don't be stuck with one mode. Oh, don't be stuck with one mode. Hi. Make sure that you're experimenting and trying new things. I don't want you to be stuck in that box of quilting the same design over and over again. I want you to explore and enhance your quilting and try new things, and don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to make a few mistakes along the way. That's how we grow as quilters. I mean, you know, as we are learning all of these things, we are going to make mistakes, but their mistakes help us become better as we're quilting. So I'm just going to angle my laser, going to bring my thread up. Okay, here's the test of time. So let me find my laser again. I can't find where my mark is. Where did it go? Oh, you know why? Because my cord right here is covering the little red dot. Let me move my cord back behind or up here. Okay. Now there's my red dot. I have it. Okay. I'm trying to do this one-handed so that you can see as I'm quilting. So I'm just going to do a little tie-off stitch. The needle down, needle up, needle down, needle up. Okay. And now I'm just going to jump in and try it and go for it. And you can see that I'm not exactly on the line. And you know what? I went down and didn't do my 1 star. I'm sorry. Totally forgot about that star there. And this probably isn't going to be the most beautiful, but oh well. It's mine, and I'm proud of it. You guys, this is so much fun to do. I can't tell you. Even though I know it's not perfect, I am enjoying myself so much as I'm quilting this. And I'm learning. That was a little close together, I could tell. Oh well. If I had done my 1 star, it would have been okay. Not bad. It's got some little wobbles and wiggles, but you know what? We'll call it wonky stars there. Anyway, let me just touch on one more thing, okay? I just want to talk to you about another accessory, which I think are awesome and great. And those are our 9-piece foot set and our 3-piece foot set. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about these when I do my advanced ruler, my advanced ruler work, but I just wanted to touch bases and show you all the great things. So with the couching feet, you could add an element to your beautiful quilts of yarn, and there's that minky yarn. Oh, makes cute, wonderful quilts, and couching is a lot of fun. And then you have your square feet that will help you with your rulers, and then in the 3-piece quilt foot kit, one of my favorite feet is the micro stipple, because it allows you to quilt around some intricate appliques or designs, or fill in even a design with little micro stitches. So those are just some more accessories for your free motion quilting that if you haven't tried them and explored using them, try them. You know, use those coupons. I'm all for you getting a good deal on any of these great accessories. And I want you to jump in and try your hand at free motion quilting, because we've got so many things and so many ideas that we want to bring to you to just elevate your quilting. So join me next time when I show you how to use the rulers. I'm really excited later this afternoon. So thanks for joining me now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carla. That was absolutely fantastic. If you're okay, let me ask you a couple questions as you're going through some of this. One of the things I really would like to ask, and just so you know, Carla, a lot of people were just, let me kind of put this like, a lot of people are saying, thank you, Carla. You explained this so well. You made it look so easy. So I just wanted to kind of point out a couple things. I love this one. This is a great one, right? Perfection is overrated. So that's part of the case. With that, let me ask you and have you kind of share with everybody, as you started down your path in learning and you started down into some of these processes, would you have a recommendation of what you would start with first as a process versus second or maybe third?
I would probably start with the laser. I really enjoyed using the laser, and the laser just kind of helps you learn the process of free motion quilting a little more so than the pattern perfect. It just allows you to kind of make those mistakes as you're working through it, and it helps that muscle memory. But that is one tool I really like, is the laser. Even on the little block design, you can use the laser to follow and make some beautiful designs. People would never know.
With that, Carla, another question, and I know that you were mentioning you're going to come back to this a little bit later today, but maybe just briefly share, because you had several different feet, and we have a couple people wondering, are they universal across all machines? Are they specific to machines? Maybe just share a brief bit about that if somebody was interested in buying a couple of those feet.
Well, these feet right here, okay, are for RQ. Okay, those are specific. These feet are made specifically for our unique. However, there are some feet for your home domestic machines that you could purchase. The 1 foot that if it's out there for your domestic machine, is that 1/4 inch foot. I think every quilter needs that 1/4 inch to make that nice perfect block. The next foot, if they have it out there, I would get the ruler foot. And then if they have a couching foot, couching is so much fun and just adds an extra embellishment. Yeah, so you can purchase all these little different feet, and you can use the ruler foot with your domestic machine, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. But it just is so much fun, and you don't realize how much fun it is to try something new until you do it.